I first read Treasure Island myself when I was 11 or 12, I imagine, perhaps younger, actually. I don't quite recall. One of the reasons why I don't quite recall is that it's a book I return to again and again. I mean, and in some ways, if I told you that I first read it when I was 50 or 60, I'm about to be 70. If I were to tell you that I'll be reading it in my 70th birthday, I mean, in some sense, like all great books, that would be the first time I'd read it. As with all great works of literature, each time we go back to it, we learn something new. We notice something new, something in a description of a character or a location that we hadn't quite noticed before. And Robert Louis Stevenson, the author of many wonderful books, is just a supremely talented writer. He's as good, for me, as any writer in English. It's a book that was written in 1881, 1882, and it was written by Robert Louis Stevenson for his stepson. It was serialized in a magazine, chapter by chapter, and what chapters they are. What an extraordinary retinue of characters we meet there. There are so many of them, I'm going to remind myself of those who particularly stand out. There's Israel Hands, the seagoing person with whom Jim Hawkins has a very nasty run-in later in the story. There's Jim Hawkins himself, of course, who tells the tale. There's John Trelawney, Dr. Livesey, Captain Smollett. Those are very, very beautifully drawn, developed characters. They're nothing, of course, on the likes of Ben Gunn, who's a character very reminiscent of Robinson Crusoe. He's been marooned on Treasure Island, and he's lived there with his goats for years. Then there's Billy Bones, the old seafaring captain whom we first meet in the story. And that's not to speak of Long John Silver, the sea cook. The novel was first known as The Sea Cook and then was changed, and what a good idea that was, to Treasure Island. But Long John Silver is the one-legged sailor who is the hero, in some sense, the villain. He is a villain, but he's at the center of the story. So I myself read this book or reread it once every year. The writing is so absolutely brilliant. And you know, if I were able to write a novel, I simply couldn't ever do it. But were I able to write a novel, it would be something along the lines, what I would hope in my dreams, as it were, of Treasure Island.